Feeding fish is by response. What do I mean? When you are going to feed fish, suppose it's supposed to consume 1 kilograms per feeding session. You take out a little, you put it on the water. Find out whether fish is interested in the feeds at all. Just because it is the time to feed, it doesn't mean that fish is going to eat. If the weather is cold, fish is cold-blooded. When it is cold, it will not eat. Because, like any other animal, the digestive juices must reach a particular temperature for it to digest. So fish will just not eat. So early in the morning, there is no sun, there is no warmth. The fish will be hungry. You put the feeds, it will not eat it. And fish does not eat leftovers.
Welcome to the Farmers Hub. You know, in Uganda, the temperatures are too high. And you may forgive me this time. I'm going to use my cap so that I can present to you what you need. Welcome to the Farmers Hub with a new episode, an exciting episode this time. We're going to talk about fish farming. There are many different types of fish farming in the world. Some people do practice fish farming in the pond. Others practice fish in the tank. Others are doing cage fish farming. And others have designed different units who look like the ponds, right? This time, we are going to talk about Recirculation Aquaculture System here in Ibudo, near the school, King's College Ibudo, where the king, Ssaabasajja Kabaka Muwenda Mutebi, studied from. So this is a new technology. Those of you who want to do fish farming as a business, please come and learn with me what we call Recirculation Aquaculture System. So I'm entering inside here. I want to meet him and explains why he ventured into this type of fish farming. Come on, come with me. Hello. Hello, Mr. Kayongo.
Hello, sir.
Kali. You are here. How is this place?
Oh, this place is good.
Yeah,
nice and quiet.
We've come to talk about your project.
Okay.
How you started it and the things that the farmers want to learn. Fellow farmers, welcome to the Recirculation Aquaculture System. So here with me, in this kind of system, there is catfish. The specialty is in catfish only, not tilapia, not anything. So the farmer here, who is an expert here, Mr. Charles, is going to take us through why this type, what you need, the requirements, why is the water flowing like this, because this is another type. Because as I told you, we have different types. Some people do fish farming from ponds, from cage farming. Others use tanks, but this is recirculation system of aquaculture. And as you understand that everybody is aiming at reaping big out of fish farming, the answer may be here. Look what the environment around. So you wait for Mr. Charles as you subscribe to the Farmers Hub. Okay, are you taking? Mr. Charles, can you take us through this kind of system that you designed to feed your catfish? Tell us.
Okay. System in
English.
This system is 8 meters by 8 meters, which is 27 feet by 27 feet, over 64 meters square. In this area, we've got 4 tanks. Each of the tanks is 5,000 liters. This is a recirculation aquaculture system. In the 5,000 liters, we can stock a minimum of 500 kilograms.
Mr. Charles, can you come this side and it's okay? It's fine.
500 kilograms, 500 kilograms, 500 kilograms. That means this is 2 tons of fish. This we can grow in 4 months, which gives us 3 seasons or 6 tons of fish in this area. So this clearly is a commercially viable system. If we sell each ton of fish at 10 million, that is 60 million. At a profit margin of 50%, you have your 30 million every year. Okay? These are not guaranteed price costs, of course. You need to do the due diligence and understand exactly how the system works. Our system is recirculating. The water which we have here is the same water that we recirculate perpetually. We don't say, after 30 days we change the water. No, we don't change water at all here. The water comes in, waste is taken out by a pump, it goes through that central filter, and it comes back clean, as you can see.
What do you use here in saturating the system?
There are pumps down there. There's a pump which takes out the water, it pumps it, it goes through the filter, and then it comes back.
Oh, it's so unique and special compared to the pond.
It is compared to the pond. The pond is a flow through. When you have a lot of stock of fish in the pond, what you are flowing through is polluted water. It goes into the rivers, it goes into the lakes, and it gets into an algae bloom. You know, that one is dangerous to the fish because it can kill your fish.
Yeah.
It is okay when a pond is a small quantity. But the moment you start to increase the stocking, the pollution of the water that you send to the environment is very, very challenging. And for that, you need to get a NEMA certification that you are treating the water which you are releasing. So this is scalable. Here you can grow fish to a larger quantity. As I said, this is 6 metric tons of fish. As you go on improving the handling of the water and you improve your experience, you can double that. Instead of 6 tons a year, you can put 12 tons in this particular same facility without even changing anything. Just improve your management, the quality of the water, the way you handle the filters, you can double the quantity of fish.
Yeah, because of your experience in the catfish, is it that you wanted to specialize? Because as I read, the catfish like good water quality. Is it that you had to do the quality? Because I can see quality of water here as you saturate this water to another system.
Yeah, every fish needs quality water. Fish in nature lives in the lakes and in the rivers. As you know, nature takes care of everything. The fish can urinate there, it can defecate there, it can reproduce the other side. But when you domesticate it, you have as if you have brought it inside a prison. There you have limited amount of water. You no longer have access to the larger body of water which goes through natural cleaning process. If you want your fish to survive or even thrive so that you can benefit from it, you need to care for the quality of water. So the water column determines what you output as far as the farm is concerned. If you mismanage the water, you are going to suffer as far as harvesting is concerned. So our priority is water quality.
Fish diseases.
Yes.
In case they get diseases, what do you do? How do you monitor the diseases per se?
Fish gets sick like any other animal, like even a human being. But if you can prevent fish from getting sick, that's the best solution. It gets sick, you can treat it like any other animal, but if you can do a deterrent, prevent fish from getting sick. How do you prevent fish from getting sick? By making sure that the water quality is pristine. By making sure that you have got biosecurity. You don't allow other things to come in to bring in the disease. Because fish, the water acts as a barrier.
Yeah.
Unlike poultry, whereby you can get airborne disease coming in, you can get in the small birds, they can bring in the disease. For fish, water works as a barrier. And then when I reduce the gestation period from 8 months to 4 months, that means the time that I'm going to have this fish in the cycle is going to be much reduced. Also, when I improve the diet of the fish, when I reduce the stress that fish suffers, that fish is going to be healthy. And most important, when I source where I get my seed from, if you get seed which is diseased or which is questionable, it will carry on the disease to your farm. So if you look after all those properties, proper record keeping, proper feeding regimes, you're not going to suffer a lot of fish getting sick.
Now, at first I thought you constructed this with bricks and what have you, but I'm seeing a different kind of technology. Can you explain to us what is this?
Okay. This is a tank. It comes, a tarpaulin is ready-made like this. It is shaped in the shape of a tank. You just unwind it, I'll be able to show it to you, and then you open it up and you have a tank. You put a hole in the center, and then you put a frame, a metal frame, and you support it with a galvanized sheet so that it does not swell, and then you don't expose the weak liner to anybody who comes in with anything to poke it. So this is a very simple construction, very easy, reasonably priced. And it is very durable. This tank can go on for the next 5 to 6 years and nothing will happen to it.
You know, I like this system because the pond sometimes it silts and you lose a lot of money, wherever even the soil goes back and you don't have barricades the other side. And maybe another farmer could ask me, you said it is a reasonable amount of money you can put in here. Can you, in a quotes, just tell that farmer, maybe depending on the size again?
Okay. We'll go back to the other question that I said. People, when they come here, they want to know what is the cost of this tank.
Yeah. Those are the questions they usually ask.
I'm selling you a system, not a tank. I'm selling you a system which works according to the parameters I've given you.
Yes.
6 tons of fish I can farm here a year. If I sell you a tank like this, you go, you fabricate it, you'll get a local fabricator, he'll put it up. It's very easy. But don't add 4 tanks and expect to get 6 tons of fish a year. It is the system, starting with the handling of water, starting with the feeding regime, and so the cost of setting up this system is what I want to divert people to go into. It is important. But then let us concentrate on the market. After you have understood the market, then you find out what size of system you want to set up. Let us not go by saying that ndi mufuna mpola njagala kuteekawo ka system akatandikirwako, the startup system. Startup system is not commercially viable, and unless and until you can invest substantially, you will not have a system that works according to the expectation. So we believe that when you start with a test drive in a syndicate, you come here, you actually feel the market, you see the management, and you learn how the system works. Then you can think of investing. I discourage people to jump into the industry and then end up as a disaster.
You know,
people who can come here and stay the course.
You know, most farmers, that's the question usually I get from farmers.
Yes.
How much can I, because we have people in this country who have money, as you said, but they don't know where to put that money. at times they ask questions. How do you start this? How much money? I have the money. Can I start tomorrow? Without doing what you are saying,
Without
market
learning
research, learning, and what have you. So, and that is very important again.
People, they come here, they come with their, they have their mobile phones, they take the pictures and then you write down a few things and it goes and starts. When you find a problem and you have installed the system, you'll be cursing me because I showed you what it is.
Of course, we
And
curse
it's
you.
not producing what I say.
We always
You say,
curse.
you able to do imuyai. But in reality, you have not taken the due diligence to understand what you are getting into.
What you are seeing right now, we are trying to feed the catfish. This is the feeding time. So they are fed in different intervals, as you will get the explanation from Mr. Charles. So talk about the feeding habits. How do you feed this kind of catfish?
Simple. Get yourself a nice chair, sit down, the feeds are there. You have seen Madame feeding the fish. Feeding is a beautiful exercise, very, very relaxing. I usually enjoy feeding my fish in the evening or at midday or early in the morning. Madame feeds at midday, I feed in the evening. Fish, unlike other animals, has got unique requirements. First of all, fish has got a short gut, the chenda chimpi. It is not like chicken. Chicken, if you unwound the gut, it could maybe end up on the other side of the house. But fish has got a very short gut. What does it mean? Fish, when it takes in feeds, within a very short time that goes out as waste. So as a result, fish utilizes only 25% of the nutritional value of feeds.
Yeah.
And the fish feeds are very, very expensive. So feeding fish is by response. What do I mean? When you are going to feed fish, suppose it's supposed to consume 1 kilograms per feeding session. You take out a little, you put it on the water. Find out whether fish is interested in the feeds at all. Just because it is the time to feed, it doesn't mean that fish is going to eat. If the weather is cold, fish is cold-blooded. When it is cold, it will not eat. Because, like any other animal, the digestive juices must reach a particular temperature for it to digest. So fish will just not eat. So early in the morning, there is no sun, there is no warmth. The fish will be hungry. You put the feeds, it will not eat it. And fish does not eat leftovers. You don't just pour the feeds there and say, it will eat what it wants, and then it will come back and eat in the evening. No, it will not eat that which is left over. It will just come, eat what it needs. When it's satisfied, it will stop.
It's so special, which means if you just pour and you go away,
yes, you are going to lose.
You are going to lose.
Ideally, when you put feeds and you find that it has not eaten that feed, scoop it off, dry it, and then you can bring it again mixed with the fresh feed. If you leave the feed on the water and it is not eaten, it will pollute the water and it will kill the fish.
Wow.
So in our system, we are very strict about the feeding. Besides the fact that feeds is very expensive, the most expensive component in farming is feeds. And with the fish, the feeds are very, very expensive. A kilo is 6,500.
A kilo of
feeds? Yes. 6,500. If you are bringing it to a border, he'll charge you 20,000 for a bag of. So you are ending up with 6,500.
Are they eating pellets or something?
Pellets. Ours we feed with pellets. But again, we can give you some other information as to how to produce your own feeds at a lower cost. Because you cannot feed fish which is for the market at that rate.
Yeah, fellow farmers, let me interject a little bit. You've got that information because there are many farmers who have the passion of farming, like fish farming. And we have many telephone farmers. They just call, hello, have you
Very
fed
deadly.
them?
Yes.
Have you fed them? Make sure you give them those pellets that I did what? I brought. And at the end of the day, they've told you the fish doesn't eat leftovers. In that regard, how do you advise the telephone farmer?
I would advise the telephone farmer to move to where he invested his money. Because unless and until you actually are present and you understand what fish actually needs, you cannot delegate. Telephone farmers is courting disaster. You're
Yes.
just going to lose. Surely you'll lose if you're a telephone farmer. That's why in this particular setup, we have a consultation. I do not consult, very rarely, I do not consult with somebody who is delegated. I have my worker, I want him to come and learn. I don't want to consult with that one. I want to consult with the entrepreneur so that he, first of all, understands the industry that we are going in, then he can delegate. Also here, I emphasize knowledge. We have got an online course and we have got an on-site course. Somebody who is entering this thing must, first of all, do the online course. So you understand what the technology of fish farming is. Why the water must rotate, why it must look like this, why the other one looks like that. You must know. Because it's not enough for you to say, Mr. Mulamata, set up a system for me. Yes, I might set it up for you, but then that's no guarantee that it will produce. It is you, the individual, who will determine how much it can produce. I told you that this system, we can stock it at 6 tons per year, but we can double the stocking. We can even triple the stocking. So you lose a lot if you don't acquire the required knowledge. Enter fish farming when you are ready to enter fish farming, not just as a by the way.
Not a passion and a passion on phone.
Not a passion. I have my money and I'll invest in fish farming. Yeah, you can do that, but not here.
Yeah, this system looks very unique. Can you talk about, I'm seeing kind of solar, I'm seeing this structure with kind of tarpaulin up here, like a solar kind of. Are you giving this system, the type of fish farming here, is it a solar kind of? What is this? Why are you putting it up here?
Thank you for asking like that. Our system is specifically designed to be low power consumption. It can work on solar. You can put solar panels there and put inverters. It will be able to run the whole system the way you see it. So we can install this system anywhere in the village, whether there is umeme or there is not. When it runs on solar, one of the biggest advantage is that the running cost reduces. You know, electricity is very expensive. In addition to the expense of the electricity, it is unreliable. If you are fully stocked and electricity goes off, yes, when you're stocking catfish, there is no big challenge. When you start stocking tilapia, you might start to get some fish dying. Even with catfish, when electricity goes off, you know, in order for us to enjoy the high stocking density, we must have dissolved oxygen in the water. In order for us to make sure that the water is high quality, we must continuously remove the waste as it accumulates. We don't allow it to create dead zones. So when electricity goes off, the pumps are not working, and you will start to have such challenges. It will take time, and it will take time to affect the catfish, but we don't want that challenge to be existing. So this system can run on solar, and the consumption is low.
Talk about, with my camera moving to this kind of, you move the camera there without, is that pumping oxygen?
Yes,
or it
yes.
is?
That is putting in oxygen.
What is so important about the importance of oxygen in this kind of water system?
Water is H2O. Hydrogen atom, oxygen atom. Fish breathes in water. It breathes dissolved oxygen. If you put more fish in the tank, it will consume all the oxygen, the O component, and then fish will start to suffocate. It's like you being locked in a room. It is totally airtight. If you are locked there 2-3 people, in the beginning you'll be okay, but after some time you'll start to suffocate when nobody is choking you, because the oxygen is not there. Now, oxygen, besides that requirement, oxygen is important for the fish to digest. In order for the fish to burn the fuel that is taking in as a form of a food, it must have enough oxygen. Now, this water also needs oxygen for it to be properly balanced, because there are other microbes inside this water body.
Yeah.
So oxygen is an elixir of life. Without oxygen, you just don't have life. This water is alive. It could be dead if it doesn't have oxygen. When it is dead, you don't expect to have live fish.
Okay. And maybe another thing I've realized, maybe if you put this kind of technology, maybe the fish could think it is in the,
Exactly.
in the lake.
In fact, here we are trying to simulate nature. In nature, the water is always in a constant motion. And fish life, it likes that type of activity, whereby the water is actually moving.
Why did you specialize in catfish? And another thing maybe you interject in, can you do tilapia in this kind of system?
Yes, you can do tilapia in this kind of system, but I wouldn't. You can do tilapia. I wouldn't, because I am challenged with the capacity to supply electricity all the time in this country. And I don't like the vulnerability of tilapia. First of all, tilapia is territorial. It doesn't allow me to stock as much as I want. I told you that if I was stocking a tilapia here, I would stock maybe 250 pieces, 250 kilograms. But catfish, I can stock 500 kilograms, I can stock 1,000 kilograms, I can even stock 2,000 kilograms. For catfish, it is okay. It doesn't have these zones, it doesn't have any challenges of being together with a lot of other fish in the same environment. So I prefer catfish. Besides the fact that I love catfish. Simple, but it's highly complex. From the water column to the mechanism that moves the water up and down to the power requirement, this is a fairly complex system. But it is made to look simple so as not to scare people away. It's just a tank, a central filter, and that's all.
So you mean this is the central filter?
That's the central filter.
Okay. I was wondering what is here. This is a central filter that manages all this water system, I think.
That's right.
Yes. And talk about the security in this kind of system. How do you manage security?
Security, first of all, it is enclosed. It's fairly strong. You've got a gate there. We lock it, and you can add on a CCTV camera. You can buy a dog, and on top of that, all fish farmers must be insured. You must get an agricultural insurance. When you get an agricultural insurance and you're doing something commercially, when you are expecting at least 10 million and you have some challenge, at least the insurance can refund about 8 million. And then you can continue the cycle. If you are not insured, any disaster that you get, and it will come without any warning.
That is your problem.
You will have your own problem. It will be a very big setback. So it is better to at least invest that little money on insurance.
Why do people fear insurance in this country?
Insurance in this country has got a very bad track record. But they have greatly improved. and insurance is recommended. In fact, agricultural insurance, government subsidizes it. So, taking insurance. Now, insurance in fish farming still needs to be explained to the insurance people, because in order for them to assess the risk, they must understand the activity that you are doing. When you are in a pond, it's very difficult to get insurance, because an insurance person will come there and you'll find no security. So in most cases, you not. When an insurance guy comes here, at most he'll say you have to have CCTV, you have to complete the fence out there, and he'll feel comfortable insuring me. So this is an insurable risk. Well, out in the ponds, it's a very big question.
Okay. Why this? I'm seeing a top.
The cover.
Vent. Is
Yes.
it?
Yeah.
This one, I mean.
In fact, thanks for asking that.
What is this?
Catfish.
Somebody may ask, what are you trying to put here?
This is a cover. Catfish by nature is a walker. If you put catfish in here and it started raining, it somehow senses and it wants to go somewhere else.
It's want to jump out.
It will jump out. I stocked, before I put this cover, I stocked 30 kilograms of fish of half kilo each. And it was there for about 2 months. But every morning I used to find fish out there, struggling to go somewhere, even some dead. But here we don't have a gate. Sometimes the stray dogs come and they take the fish.
And you lose money.
Till when I got curious and I wanted to know how much fish is in there. So I released the water and I checked. And I was able to find only 10 pieces of fish out of the 60 that I was expecting. So it is very advisable, you must have this. If you have a tank, you must cover the tank so that your fish doesn't jump out.
There is a story that you've not talked about, and it is very important. You farmers who want to do fish farming, you should understand partly his story, if you allow me. You told me that you did fish farming for how many years? And you may tell those farmers who are listening to us, maybe you can come here, and you may tell them what it takes somebody to be a serious person in that business.
There's a saying that overnight success takes 10 years. You have taken 15. Now, people, they'll find you doing something and they'll think, that guy has succeeded overnight. When in the background you have actually put in more than 10 years. To succeed in whatever you are doing, you need to give it time. We have been here in fish farming since 2008. I introduced aquaponics. Aquaponics is a technology of farming fish while growing vegetables on the other side. The vegetables work as a biological filter, because fish doesn't want dirty water, but it is fish which dirties the water. So when it defecates, it urinates in the water, the uneaten food, you must take it out, take it into a filter, and then remove the nutrients and so on and so forth, and then bring back the water. That is the purpose of a recirculation system. That's why if you don't have a recirculation system, you must have means of exiting that dirty water on a regular basis. And we saw that when you are doing it the traditional way of pouring out a third of the water, it is not sustainable. Because first of all, NEMA doesn't want you to pour polluted water anyhow. And it is not scalable. When you have got a 1,000-liter tank and you are going to pour out 250 liters of water every 3 days, you must find the energy and the electricity and the cost of topping it up. If you have got a 5,000-liter tank, that means I must pour out 1,250. If I've got 4 of those tanks, that means I must pour out 5,000 liters of water every 3 days. Look at this water. If you have to pour out this water every 3 days, you must top it up with this water. You must be sourcing it from somewhere. Even if you have a well, you are spending electricity to pump that water. And where you are discharging this water, even on a hot day like this, it will form a river. That river will be of stinking water because that is polluted water. So it is not advisable to use that type of system, because when you want to scale, you are going to have challenges. So our experience goes, we've been moving mostly on acquisition of technology for the best way to farm this fish. Now, recently, we were sponsored by UNFAO to go to Shanghai, China. There was a symposium whereby I did a presentation, and I was presenting this system. In this system, I was presenting as one of the 4 participants, 4 countries. There was Nigeria, there was Madagascar, there was Ethiopia, and Uganda. I represented Uganda.
Wow.
Not officially, as an entrepreneur.
Of course.
Who has got a system that can handle water sustainably. So I went there, and we were there from 18th to 25th. I was there from 18th to 25th. What I saw there really amazed me. Well, Asia has got its own solution of food security, and they call it rice and fish. In Uganda, we have adopted that rice and fish, and even the people who are presenting for Nigeria, the people who are presenting for Somalia, they are also presenting rice and fish.
Yes.
I'm challenged by the fact that our staple food here is not rice. Our staple food is yams, muhogo, potatoes, matoke, kaunga maybe. Yes, a bit of rice these days because the others have failed. So we do not have a sustainable means of growing our own food in this country. Without that, at an explosive population growth, we are in a very, very big challenge. So here in this system is a decoupled aquaponics system. What do I mean? That much as this system can work by itself, we can attach an aquaponics system which can utilize the nutrient-rich water to grow any of these foods. In 2008, I started by growing vegetables in the aquaponics system. Then later on, I started growing yams, amayuni, in that system. And before I went to the symposium to Shanghai, I had started growing potatoes.
Yes.
In this particular system. So this is the foundation of a system that can solve our food security. If we don't have a food security that is a solution and is climate smart in this day and age of climate change, we are having a problem. Then in that symposium, I learned that Africa is importing 85% of its food. 85%. And the research that I've made is that Africa has got the biggest arable land. 60% of the arable land globally is in Africa here. Yet we import food. I mean, that's a paradox. We need to tuck up our sleeves and farm fish, because I've told you this is the most sustainable means of sourcing protein. And as we do this, we must adopt technology if we are to move forward. Because as I was telling my friend here, that in this I can grow 6 tons of fish per year, but for cattle I need 9 tons of fish, 9 acres of land. If land is not available, as it is, then we cannot grow the food that we need.
Yeah, let's go for a commercial
that I developed. You know, traditionally fish comes from the lake.
Yes.
And it is obtained by fishermen. Fishermen are very healthy people. because they eat very well, and most importantly, they exercise.
Yeah.
So this is an exercise for an elderly guy like me, and I enjoy what's happening. You can see the water is rotating, and I'm flexing my muscles. So when I do this, you see the water has got a motion, inertia, which it generates.
Yeah.
This I call the teacup effect. You know, when you put sugar in a cup, and if it has some small debris, and then you start mixing it, you see that all the debris will collect at the center.
Yeah, I can see.
Now, when it collects at the center, the pump is taking out the debris, and that debris is ending up in the filter. So if I do this every morning and every evening, I'm improving the water quality. I'm exercising my body.
Yes.
And I'm having a beautiful time.
Wow.
So this is the exercise.
That is so impressive.
And I'm connecting to nature, to tradition, because fishermen are the ones who use this thing.
Yeah.
In the sea. So this is what you have been asking.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It is very interesting, and I like it.
Thank you.
Okay. Finally, the farmers may ask you a question. Is it is Mr. Charles is the one constructing this? Can I call him to construct my pond? Can he supply me fingerlings of catfish and many others?
Yes, yes.
What should the farmer expect from you apart from the knowledge?
Yeah, we look at the whole value chain. As I told you in the beginning, we started by setting up a hatchery.
Yeah.
Our capacity is 7.2 million metric, 7.2 fingerlings per year, and we are ready to scale it up. Quality seed is the key to proper fish farming. So we can supply you the quality seed, and we can advise you on how to feed it, and then we can supply you the market. If you have got fish which is ready, we can buy it. That one we are making sure that the whole value chain can be handled. We can assist the farmer to feel comfortable in whatever he's doing.
Yeah. So farmers don't get scared of the market.
Plus we give you the knowledge.
What you do, you are having the knowledge, you are having the market, you are having the seeds,
even the components.
The components they can give you.
Constructing the tanks.
So the task you have, and you don't, according to what I'm seeing here, you don't need a big portion of land. According to what I can see, you said it is 8 by what?
8 by 8 meters or 0.016 of an acre.
Then you can have almost 4 tanks or 5, depending on the size you want. And you start reaping big out of fish farming, following the practices that Charles is talking about here.
Getting the education, getting the knowledge.
Education is key, yeah. Like other mottos say.
When you get the knowledge, you'll enjoy what we are doing.
Anyway, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for following. Maybe you can give us your hashtag, where we can find you, the phone number, so that they can follow you.
0702 643 027. It is on WhatsApp. You can take it opposite.
In a closing way, you know, Charles told me, in this kind of environment, you have to learn doing exercise.
You need an exercise.
While doing the water quality, working on the water quality. So I wind up telling you, the farmer who is yearning to do fish farming, to think of getting the knowledge from this farm, and don't do anything before you learn the basics of fish farming. Fish farming is you know, is a profitable venture.
It's a
According
very
to what I've
enjoyable
got,
venture
very profitable,
and very enjoyable.
very enjoyable. You can't even finish the market of fish because we need a lot of fish in this country for export. Everybody needs to eat fish to acquire that protein. So make sure, subscribe, hit that button and smash the bell so that you get all the notification wherever we upload something to do with fish farming. Thank you for today. I wind up. Until we meet again to another farmer, I'm going to bring you most farmers that tell you exactly, not those farmers who just bring that, you know, I've managed to reap big out of fish farming without telling you the history of farming as a business. Because all the farmers, you may think that they've acquired a lot of money out of farming without telling you the disadvantages. So ensure that you watch and share this video to reach far to other farmers who may want to start fish farming. I wind up. I remain Joseph the Farmer, your host. Thank you for watching and subscribing. Bye-bye.